We'll be talking about the ugly truth around entrepreneurship that nobody is warning us against. And it's becoming such a problem that a lot of people in the mental health community are really, really worried. And that is entrepreneurial loneliness. Very similar to male loneliness, it's becoming an epidemic. And that's because we have so many people that are vibe coding their own thing, sitting in a room for hours upon hours, doing their own thing, being that solopreneur we keep hearing about. So Rob and I go deep into this entrepreneur loneliness epidemic and see if we can come up with some tips and tricks and maybe even some templates that helps you think about it in a different way to start discovering some mental health opportunities that keeps you from being that solopreneur that just cracks. These are the ugly truths around entrepreneurial loneliness. We'll see you on the episode. This business podcast, the Two Business Guys Mastermind, uncovers for you secrets and share tips and tricks. Entrepreneurial loneliness, Rob, is
Real
a
thing.
big thing. Now,
Yeah.
we heard about male loneliness, right? And what's going on
Mm-hmm.
over in that perspective. But I've been
Mm-hmm.
hearing a lot about entrepreneurial loneliness. And I
Yeah.
think the Two Business Guys need to mastermind on some ways around it.
Yeah.
We were dropping some dimes earlier about utilizing AI to get around it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think we need our audience to hear this. So, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on
Nah.
this, man? Entrepreneurial loneliness.
I think it's a really important topic that a lot of people don't talk about, right? Because these are, I've heard it, articulated, right? Champagne problems, right? Like when you think about entrepreneurs, you think about people who are trying to start businesses, all the rest of that. Most of the people who are in that space have been successful at something else. They're living and now they're trying to fulfill their dreams. It's not, the occasional rags to riches story of the person that just had to figure out a way, all the rest of that type of stuff. Most entrepreneurs are doing something and they got a side hustle, they got a something else that they're doing. And so it becomes one of those things where you don't feel comfortable talking about it because it feels like complaining,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you talk about entrepreneurial loneliness, right, which for me is that experience of not really being able to express the frustrations, the issues, the roadblocks, the obstacles that are in your way, because most of the people that you're talking to are not entrepreneurs. Most of the people in your circle don't get it and don't live in that space. I remember I was watching a podcast. It was an episode of Expeditiously, so Ti's podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Ti and it was Master P that were on there, and they were kind of talking about this. Like the conversation was going through, and it was talking about how lonely it is sometimes being a visionary. And then I remember Ti had said something. He was like, "Right, yeah, it is lonely, but it makes sense because like if you're a visionary and everybody sees your vision, you ain't really a visionary. Like if everybody else can see it, like you're
Mm-hmm.
not seeing in the
Mm-hmm.
future. You're not seeing something different. You're seeing what everybody else can see. To be a visionary means you are that person that sees what nobody else can see and you bring it
That's
into
right.
reality,
That's
right?
right.
And so it inherently is a lonely experience, but nobody really prepares you for the loneliness of it. And it doesn't have to be lonely. As a matter of fact, when you look at a lot of the founders that uh right, Steve Jobs had Steve Ballmer, right? Like Bill Gates had, or Steve Wozniak. Bill
Mm-hmm.
Gates had Steve Ballmer, right? Like there were different funding groups. You look at the
Yeah.
PayPal
You
mafia,
had the
right? Like all of the
co-founders.
different,
Yep.
right? You had co-founders. You had a pod of people who were going and fighting against the things. And a lot of solopreneurs are stuck in this space where you're the only believer, and you might have somebody else that believes in you, but they believe in you. They don't believe in the vision. They don't see the vision. They just trust you. They just believe in you, right? And a lot of people, you got people who's like, I don't see it. I don't understand, right? So that loneliness, I think, is a super
Yeah.
real thing. I know I felt it. I know we've talked about it offline
Yeah.
a ton
Yeah.
of times. And so
And
yeah,
I think I got
it's
a fix
definitely
for it.
something we should talk about. Oh, so go ahead. What
So
you
here
got,
it
bro?
is. I think I have solved the entrepreneur loneliness problem, maybe
Mm-hmm.
the male loneliness problem. So it's called AI. Now, we are shifting and kind
Mm-hmm.
of, keeping our mind around, the two business guys masterminding on AI. If it was
Mm-hmm.
crypto, we'd probably be masterminding on crypto, but it's all about the things that we can do to help you just basically do a better book of business. Now, if
Hmm.
you're
Hmm.
sitting there, like I used to get up early in the morning, get this is how I fought it. I would get up early in the morning where your expectation is that nobody's around. That's why it was 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, because you look outside and go, well, ain't nobody out there anyway. So
Hmm.
it almost is a trick to your body because the body is saying, well, ain't shit happening anyway until 10.
Exactly.
By
Exactly.
then, you've gotten 4 hours of work in, six
So
hours
you're
of
not really
work.
lonely. Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
not, so you kind of trick yourself that way. But then of course, if you got a nice lovely next to you, you're going, dang, I gotta get out of bed and I got all this loveliness next to me. But here's the
Yep.
next thing. So I want you all to be able to see that. And in the comments, disagree, agree, however you feel about it.
Hmm.
I'm using perplexity, bro, and I'm no longer lonely. I hit
Hmm.
perplexity. Watch this. I'm getting ready to do it right now, y'all. So I'm gonna hit I'm gonna go ahead and let's say something went wrong. So okay, she needs to start talking to me. So I'll hit the perplexity where I can talk to it now. Obviously it's not
Hmm.
working right now. It needs to be refreshed. But then it starts just rapping to me, talking about a couple of things, going back and forth with me. And I'm like,
Hmm.
this is beautiful.
Yeah.
The fact that it will talk back to you
Fact.
now.
Yeah.
You now have your co-founder.
Hmm.
You have
I,
somebody that you bounce the ideas off of.
yeah. I like that. I remember when ChatGPT first came out with the voice option, and then I like that idea, and it takes me back to, if you remember, Tony Stark's with Jarvis, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he would have his whole conversations and be doing all the different things. I think that there's, to your point, I'm gonna push back and say I don't think that it's the cure, but I think that it definitely is an alleviation, right? That will make it so that it's not as lonely. But I still think that there's the need, and it's not talked about in entrepreneurship enough, right? There's this whole idea of the lone wolf, and you go and you do it yourself. I
Hmm.
think that that is BS. I think that the reality is, right? And you've heard, like, Jim Rohn said this before, Tony Robbins said it, lots of other people say it. You are the average of the five people you hang around with the most,
Yeah.
right? Your wealth will be the average, your business success will be all those types of things. And I think it's really important that we as entrepreneurs remember that we need community, even if it's not people, even if it's
This is my co-founder. Hey, co-founder, how you doing?
right? But even if it's not people that are doing the same thing that we're doing, people that we can speak to, that we can talk about certain problems, and that they can empathize with the experience. That's the one thing that I think AI is missing in human interaction, is that AI can't truly empathize because AI doesn't have experiences. It has a library of other people's experiences, so it can tell
Correct.
you about some other people that might empathize with you. And that's one of the reasons I talked to you about this. This is one of the reasons why I created the Legacy Builders Roundtable, was for exactly that reason. It's a roundtable that we do twice a month
Yep. Yep.
over on our side. And ultimately, what happens is people get together from different walks of life who have way different ideas and understandings of what they're doing. And some people are
Hmm.
CEOs, some people are entrepreneurs. It depends on what they're doing. But what they all come together to do is to discuss what's going on in their lives in the moment, how they're in alignment, how they're out of alignment. The thing that comes out of that, what I hear so many times from people that come to the roundtables, is it felt so good to be around other people who were experiencing the same thing.
Yep.
Now, that's not the co-founder side of it. Again, I think that takes it to a whole other level. But in lieu of that, I think what you're talking about, AI and having somebody that can work on your business with you, or right, a partner that can work on your business with you, but then also having a network of people that you can go and talk to and go and interact with and engage with about those first world problems that you have as entrepreneurs, where
Hmm.
everybody else doesn't understand what it feels like. Like we were talking offline, just off camera. This is one reason why we love doing this, is because this is where
Yeah. We get to
we grow,
mastermind it. I get to see
right?
Rob, check out what some of the new stuff that he's doing. If we don't
Right.
have a chance to, get on together. right?
Hmm. Exactly.
Hey, what did you discover in your
What's
week?
been going on? Exactly. And so one of the things that we were just talking about, like what happens when you have too many ideas, right? Like what happens, like we were talking
Idea
about
indigestion.
right, idea indigestion and the idea coma that happens after you just consume so many ideas because we're always searching for new things, right? Those types of conversations, which they don't hit the same in other scenarios. It's not the vice president of the bank isn't necessarily dealing with that. You know what I mean? Like it's a different
Mm-hmm.
conversation that entrepreneurs have versus everybody else. And I think that that's an important thing that doesn't get talked about enough in entrepreneurship. It's always like, how do you grind more? How do you get right?
Yeah,
It's the idea stuff. How do you get ideas out? But I think that part of it is also the self care and the mental health aspect of it. How do you sustain? And I remember when I was training for my
that's so
marathon,
good.
this is one of the things that I never thought about until I talked to other people who had run marathons, right? Because you think about running, for most people, if you run anything less than really a half marathon, but I'll go as low as 10K, right? When you're running 10Ks and below, those are mainly pseudo sprints, right? You can do it on, I might not need water, I might not need juice, I might not need electrolytes, all the rest of that. Up to
Hmm.
6 miles, you can just do that off of grit and will, right? But then once you start getting into those 8, 10, 12, 15, 26 mile runs, you're running at such a clip and over such time that your body needs to replenish what you have used, right? And that part was something that I had never even thought about because I run 3 miles, 5 miles, 7 miles, right?
Hmm.
Nothing major, but I didn't need a water break or a electrolyte pack or any of the rest of that to go run
Hmm.
3 miles. Like, as a matter of fact, like if you like, from what I in the Marine Corps, like that's a PFT. Like, go run, come back. You can get some water when you get finished. Like, are you really whining about being tired, being thirsty? Right? There's a completely different mindset that we had about thinking about your physical right experience during the run. It was like you're out of shape. That's why you're dealing with that, right? Like there was a whole different response to it. But when I went to run the marathon, it was completely different. The people that I talked to who were in great shape were all like, you're going to hit the wall. So be aware of this. You're going to get to a point where mentally you don't think you can do anymore and your body is going to try to shut down on you. And it has nothing to do with you being out of shape, right? Similarly, you need to be replenishing because if you don't replenish, then you can actually do damage to your body. It's not you're weak. It's that this is how the body works, and this is how lactic acid works, and this is how all this. It was like there was a whole realm that was opened up that I never knew existed, and I only knew existed because I talked to people who were on the other side who had done this thing
That's
that
good.
I'm doing. And I think that that's something that's missing in the entrepreneurship realm because most of the people are teaching you how to do what you're doing instead of how to train and mentally prepare for and do the stuff that you need to do.
Yeah, and that's right there, man, is such a topic that one of the things I noticed, even with the AI, I actually did a video the other day and I says, hey, these vibe coding things, they're lying to you. And I says, why they're lying to you is because, no, you don't get all the experience. You get so many ideas, and then you see that you can't do the whole thing, that it'll do some things, but you got to connect GitHub, you got to connect Superbase, you got to connect this, you got to connect that, and then you got to worry about security, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
So, I did a video that's counter to what's happening right now.
Exactly.
One of the other things that I've been wanting to experiment with, and y'all, we're like business scientists here sometimes over at the Two Business
Mhm.
Guys Mastermind, is
Yeah,
that
iteration is king.
I say, I wonder what would happen if, and
Mhm.
then this is where I put my Ryan Seacrest pants on and I go, he's on air all the time. So he's continually emptying. Now he's got producers and all that. So I started thinking, what could I create that would help me continually empty of all the things I get in? Right now,
Mhm.
you heard me talk about this, so it becomes the books, the social media. What would happen if I got on social media and acted as if I were Ryan Seacrest or Gary V or somebody like that, where now I'm continually giving, so I'm continually making room for more.
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
then what I noticed also, and this is what I've been dipping my toe in, but I've been like, I'm a little scared of it because it's like, boy, that could be kind of addictive, I think. You're constantly
Mm-hmm.
on and you're giving, and then next thing you know, you look around, you be like, I ain't made no money or whatever.
That part.
So, so now I'm thinking, okay, could I do it in a way where, hey, all day Sunday, this is what we're doing. You come to church or whatever it is, or you go to church and then you get out of church and you do your thing, or all day Saturday, whatever it is. That way you have your day to
Mm-hmm.
literally give empty, if you will. And so I'm exploring that as a possibility
Yeah.
because so
Yeah.
right now, Rob, so many good things I believe are coming to me. And I wrote this down today. Do not be, you've heard this term before, everybody, if you're listening to me, you've heard us say it, you've heard it before. Don't be the richest person in the cemetery. So I
Mm-hmm.
says, well,
Mm-hmm.
what would then position one to be not the richest person in the cemetery? And that is constantly producing something,
Yeah.
giving of
Yeah.
yourself, putting your ideas out there. And that's what I was telling you earlier. I
Mm-hmm.
looked at some of my older ideas. I see that I have AI that can spin them up. Now, my job is to spin them up,
Mm-hmm.
attach a virtual assistant and some AI to it so that you're
Mm-hmm.
not sitting there and then next. And
And
then
here's the
I've
here's
wrapped
here's
it
the
around.
last piece. Here's the last piece to that idea because something one of my mentors is doing that I think is phenomenal. And he does similar thing, right? He spins stuff up. And here's the beauty of it because you look at where's the monetary incentive from the things that you spin up. This is where your membership site comes in because now
Yeah.
when people come to you and my biggest thing, and we talk about this a lot, right? You build it, but then you got to connect it to everything. You got to make sure
Yeah.
that
Sure.
when you can just create stuff that's awesome. I literally one of my mentors, so Michael Stevenson, if you listening, this is your shout out, right? Transform Destiny is where I get my neurolinguistic programming training from and everything,
Mhm.
right? Michael, one of the things that he is just phenomenal with is he always makes sure that he's giving you more value than
Yeah.
whatever you're paying for. So you may pay for a course, but you get all this other type of stuff
Hmm.
on his website right now because he's been doing this for 25 years now. So he's been
What's
doing
his name
courses,
again?
classes. Michael Stevenson. But what he does is when you purchase a program, any of the programs, any of the big ticket programs, you get access to the members area. And
Of
part
course.
of access to the members area is that there are certain things that are connected to your program that you just get automatic access to. And these are programs that he may have recorded 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, that he has on the website, for $50, $20, $100, whatever. But because you're a member, you get access to all of those things. And it immediately gives so much more value to the membership because there's a topic that he did something on that he put it in there and he put a price tag on it, ain't thought about it again, but it's getting for everybody that's getting everything
Hmm.
that he wants,
I get it.
is getting there. And then he also has those things as hooks that they can come in, and that's one way you can get into his ecosystem is maybe this is $20 course because they send out this email on this thing because you're interested in it.
Yep.
But he built he built the web hooks back to the course maybe 5 years after he built the course.
Stevenson is it V or a PH?
Stevenson. That's a great question. I
Stevenson.
think it's PH.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll check him out.
but
I
let
love
me
that,
see.
man.
Just look up look up
This is a
Transform Destiny. That's the way
transform
easiest way.
destiny. That is
Transform Destiny.
transform,
Yeah,
and this is
It's with VEN. Yep.
it is VEN.
Yep. VENSON.
Okay. This is exactly the thing that I think a lot of our listeners, people are needing to hear is that, well, they tell you to focus, that's fine. Yeah. But good luck because
Mm-hmm.
AI is providing you with so much opportunity. And we talked about this off camera. It's like I just pulled out some of my old, I saw an idea from 2014 that I says that with
Mm-hmm.
AI would be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, if you look at the board, y'all already see how I get down, right? I don't hide from that. That's why I put it up there. I know it's a little distracting, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to tell you that this is the kind of value that we're continually providing. We're saying, hey, we're going to get you a checklist. We're going to, look at an idea. We're going to put it out there. We're going to say, here's a talk around it. Grab it. Go be of let it be of service to you, right?
Hmm.
So I think going forward, we're going to be using checklist for everything. Here's something that might help you. Here's something that you can pull from, something you can maybe put into a GPT and expand. Whatever you want to do, we'll provide that for you in exchange, for email or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
But that's it.
is
I have a list of
where it's at right now.
webinars that I'm about to put down on wax. It's just going into depth on a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that I teach already, but it's the beginnings of my membership site.
I think it's so now, Rob said, hey, you gotta do your downtime.
Mhm.
Monday, tomorrow, I'm fishing.
There you go.
And I wrote on the calendar all day. Now, if one hole, I'm not even trying, if one hole is not hitting, I got three other ones. And I'm gonna go and I'm just fishing all day.
Nice.
Downtime. Not that if I don't get one fish, I would be disappointed, but it is my downtime
Yeah.
because I start on Sundays. I say, okay, well, Sunday I'm gonna be jamming. Tuesday, I've got like multiple live classes that I do now, right?
Hmm.
Boom. And then typically Wednesday and Thursdays and stuff like that. So look at everybody, get out there, start using some of the stuff that we talk about. Make look into the suggestions, the books and stuff. I got three here that I was telling Rob about. I want you to look at those things, grab them from the links if you see them in the links, and
Hmm.
start using this stuff. Come on back, tell me, hey,
Yeah.
it worked or it didn't work. You guys are full of canal water, and we'll get better.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what I wanted to talk about, Rob. I think
Awesome.
we should have been able to, in this like 15, 20 minutes, give some people some good value. We want you to
Yeah.
use this stuff. This is what it's all about. Use it, make money from it. Come tell us what you did. That's the whole play. All right.
Yeah.
See you next time.
All right.